Hello everybody, welcome back to another video of Inspiration TV with Paul DeCoste. In this video is our first reading log, and we will be reading Walk the Plank. We're gonna just annotate and answer questions by using TCSMGT. And if you guys don't know what that stands for, go watch that video. I'll leave it in the description, so if you don't know what that is, the link in the description below this video shows you the video where I talked about what TCSMGT is, in case you guys haven't watched that video, which I hope you did. Now, we're going to be reading Walk the Plank, and we're going to gist and annotate and answer the questions based on ReadWorks. Let's get started. Like I said, we will be reading Walk the Plank. We're going to gist and annotate. Of course, I'm going to take notes on a sheet of paper while I'm reading during this video, but hopefully you guys would be kind enough to follow along. And before we do that, I just want to show you guys the vocabulary. You might want to pause the video to take a look at these. Alright, hope you looked at them. Alright, we're going to start reading. Walking the plank is not a fun thing to do. Here's how it works. A pirate sticks a long piece of wood off the side of its ship and makes you stand at one side. He puts his sword at your back and blows. Walk the plank. You walk across the plank toward the water. When you run out of the plank, you fall in the water. Probably there are sharks down there. The ship's... So basically in this paragraph, they're saying how... Basically, what it's talking about is how walking the plank is not enjoyable. Because it talks about all the bad stuff that could happen when you do walk the plank. I mean, in the beginning of the paragraph, it says it's not fun, it's not enjoyable. So you might not like walking it. And it also described why it's bad, because there might be sharks. Or you could even sink, and you can't breathe. Especially if you don't have breathing gear. Like when you put those things over your head to breathe underwater. Like when they go underwater to get fish. But they usually use a hook or go fishing to grab fish and put them on stores. So, the gist of this paragraph is how walking the plank is not enjoyable. Next paragraph. The thing is, pirates never really made anyone walk the plank. This may surprise you since it's in a lot of movies and TV shows. It's a nasty thing to do, and pirates were pretty nasty. So it seems like something they would do. But in fact, walking the plank was imagined by Robert Louis Stevenson, a 19th century novelist whose most famous book is Treasure Island. A fictional pirate like Long John Silver might make you walk the plank, but a real-life pirate would never do that. So basically, in this paragraph, it's talking about how not any pirate would make you walk the plank normally. So they say in a lot of movies and TV shows, since walking the plank is a nasty thing to do, pirates don't often make you do it. Like, I'm pretty sure you guys remember the TV show Jake and the Neverland Pirates, or Tinkerbell. I am pretty sure I saw characters like that walking the plank. I'm not sure if you watched it, but you can put it in the comments if you want. So the gist of this paragraph is pirates don't make anyone walk the plank. But not unlike TV shows and movies. The gist is pirates don't make people walk the plank, unlike in TV shows and movies. So that's basically the gist. Now, next paragraph. That is what was going through Tommy's mind as he stood the end of the plank, staring at his dome. His best friend Jake stood behind him. Tommy felt the point of Jack's wooden sword digging in his back. "I said walk the plank," shouted Jack. "The thing is," said Tommy, "pirates never really made people walk the plank. That was invented by Robert Louis Stevenson, who... I'm a pirate. Do you think I care about books?" So it looks like this Robert Louis Stevenson guy was the one that invented walking the plank. Well, that's basically what this text is saying. At least that's what one of the characters are saying. So let's just stop there and think about those words I mentioned a few minutes ago. TCSMGT. So the title is Walk the Plank. The characters are Tommy and Jake in this situation. And the setting, well, they didn't really talk about the setting, but we're going to get to that in a minute. And it looks like what's going on here is that Jake wants Tommy to walk the plank. But it doesn't look like Tommy really wants to. Next paragraph. They were standing on the edge of Jake's treehouse. So that's the setting. It was happening at Jake's treehouse, which had a lot of uses. Sometimes it was a submarine. Sometimes it was a spaceship. Sometimes it was just a treehouse. That afternoon, it was serving as a pirate ship. There had been pirates all afternoon and everything was going fine until Tommy made the mistake of citizening his captain. Jack was always the captain, since this was his treehouse, and Captain Jack's #1 rule was that the crew must never question his orders. So, it looks like the reason why Tommy wants... Or is it Jack? Yeah. The reason why Jack wants Tommy to walk the plank is because he questioned him since that's one of his rules. It also talked about how Jack's treehouse could be many things, like a submarine or a spaceship. But what's going on in the story? It is now a pirate ship. And since it's his rules go his way. And if you break them, what's going on basically, he makes you walk the plank. So that's, if you guys can gist that up, that'd be nice. So when the captain ordered his first mate to hand over 3 chocolate chip cookies, Tommy was supposed to do it without complaint. But chocolate chip cookies were his favorite. He'd suffered through a whole boring boggle and sandwich to get them. And now he was finished. Jack wanted to take them away. Tommy didn't care who was the captain. He stuffed all 3 cookies in his mouth and chewed as fast as he could. And so Captain Jack sentenced him to walk the plank. So it looks like what's going on now is Jack's taking a stand. So that's basically what's going on in this paragraph is Jack is taking a stand no matter... Sorry, not Jack. Tommy is taking a stand because, well, he really doesn't care who's the captain, but he just wants to stand for himself. Just because Jack makes rules because it's his treehouse, that wasn't going to let Tommy down. So Tommy was confident in himself, even though it was Jack's treehouse and he would command him to do stuff. He wasn't going to listen. Well, it looks like he wasn't going to listen if you guys were listening. I'm getting tired of waiting, Mr. Tommy. Walk the plank. Tommy looked at the ground. They had jumped out of the treehouse tons of times, but it was easy when you had a running start. It would be harder to just walk into thin air. He could see why Robert Louis Stevenson thought this would be a scary thing. There was no way out, unless, what would a pirate do? Tommy didn't hesitate. He spun around as fast as he could and kicked his leg into the air. Jack's sword went flying. And before Jack knew what had happened, Tommy leaped onto the sword. He popped up and pointed it at Jack's back. "Arg, what are you doing?" whined Jack. "This is a mini. I'm the captain now, and I say that you need to walk the plank." Alright, so now that we're done, before we get to the questions, I just want to figure out what the main idea, theme, and gist is. So basically the theme is, well, I'll figure out the theme with you guys until we answer these questions. But the main idea is about walking the plank. So Jack, which he has a tree house. So he has a tree house that become many things. So it was a pirate ship. And he commanded Tommy to walk the plank based on the consequences he did for breaking his rules. But Tommy took a stand, took the sword from him, and made him walk the plank. So the theme would be to not force people to do something, because they could get revenge. So that's basically the theme. Alright, let's go to the questions. Question 1. What were Jack and Tommy pretending in the treehouse? So, basically, if you guys remember back, it's either A, a submarine, B, an island, C, a spaceship, D, a pirate ship. So the answer is D, a pirate ship. So you can obviously tell it was a pirate ship because that's basically what was the setting, if you paid attention from a couple minutes ago through the video. What is the main conflict in this story? Jack wants Tommy to walk the plank, but Tommy does not want to. Jack wants to eat all the cookies, but Tommy wants to share them. Alright. Tommy wants to stop pretending to be pirates, but Jack does not want to. Tommy wants Jack to let him be captain, but Jack does not want to. Well, if you think about the main conflict, the main problem, it's that Jack wants Tommy to walk the plank, but Tommy doesn't want to. So basically, of course Jack did not want to walk the plank. He was like complaining and all that. But Jack ordered him to. But Tommy took a stand. So that could be a problem. Jack wants to eat all the cookies. Well, of course that was a problem, but that didn't affect the whole story. The question's asking about the whole story, not a part of it. C. Tommy wants to stop pretending to be pirates, but Jack does not want to. So, it never said that Tommy wanted to stop being pirates. I mean, if Tommy wanted to stop being pirates, then he would have just took a stand like also and say, I don't want to play pirates, can we please play something else? So, it's definitely not C. D. Tommy wants Jack to let him be captain, but Jack does not want to. Well, I wouldn't say that Tommy wanted to be captain, and also that's not the conflict of the story. The answer is A. Jack wants Tommy to walk the plank, but Tommy does not want to. Question 3. Read these sentences from the text. So when the captain ordered his first mate to hand over 3 chocolate chip cookies, Tommy was supposed to do so without complaint. But chocolate chip cookies were his favorite. He suffered through a whole boring bog-lead sandwich to get them. And now that he was finished, Jack wanted to take them away. Tommy didn't care who was the captain. He stuffed all 3 cookies in his mouth and chewed as fast as he could. Based on the evidence, what conclusion can you draw about how Tommy felt? Tommy felt a little sad but thought Captain Jack was being fair. Well, of course Tommy was sad, but Tommy didn't think Captain Jack was being fair at all. Tommy felt annoyed and thought Jack's orders were unfair. Well, that's kind of the answer, but let's take a look at C and D. Tommy felt calm but thought Captain Jack's orders was unfair. Alright, so basically, if you want to figure out how the characters were feeling, there's usually key words. Alright, so it said Tommy didn't care who was the captain. He stuffed all 3 cookies in his mouth and chewed as fast as he could. Well, of course Tommy felt calm. I mean, if he wasn't calm, then he would freak out and everything, if you guys know what I'm saying. Tommy felt natural and did not mind that Captain Jack wanted the cookies. Alright, so it's not D. So, it has to be this. B. It has to be B because Tommy felt annoyed and thought Captain Jack's order was unfair. Because if he was annoyed, then he would have tried to eat all the cookies, even though Jack commanded to. So, basically, Jack was being annoyed that he was the captain. And he thought it was unfair. So, it's B. And that is why he probably ate all the cookies and not handed over to him, if he cared if he was the captain. Question 4. Tommy is afraid to walk the plank. What evidence from the text best support this conclusion? You walk across the plank toward the water. When you run off the plank, you fall in the water. Tommy didn't hesitate. He spun around as fast as he could and kicked his leg into the air. Tommy could see why Robert Louis thought walking the plank would be a scary thing. Alright, so it's not A because it didn't mention Tommy and Jack at the beginning of the text. It can't be B because Tommy felt confident that time, and it didn't talk about him being afraid to walk the plank. C. Tommy could see why Robert Louis thought walking the plank would be scary. Well, that's perfect evidence because now that Tommy saw why Robert Louis Stevenson thought walking the plank was scary, he was scared. So that basically supports that. Or D. A fictional pirate like Long John Silver might make you walk the plank, but a real-life pirate never would. Alright, so the correct answer is C. What is the main idea of the story? A. While playing pirates, Jack orders Tommy to give him 3 chocolate chip cookies. Alright, that's not what the whole story is about. While pretending they are pirates, Jack orders Tommy to walk the plank, but Tommy finds a way out. C. Jack and Tommy enjoy playing pretend pirate in Jack's treehouse. Although walking the plank is common in movies and TV shows, real pirates would not make someone walk the plank. So, basically, it has to be B because since Jack orders Tommy to walk the plank, Tommy finds a way out. So that's basically what happens in the story. Some of you might have thought it was D because it did talk about real pirates wouldn't make you walk the plank, but that's not what the whole story is about. That's not the main conflict of the story. So the correct answer is B. Question C. Read these sentences from the text. So when the captain ordered his first mate to hand over 3 chocolate chip cookies, Tommy was supposed to do so without complaint. As used in this context, what does the sentence mean? A complaint unit of language, to order a punishment, a kind of suggestion, to help or insist. Alright, so since it asks what a word means, I'm gonna use context clues. So it's either A, a complete unit in language, to order a punishment. C, a kind of suggestion. D, to help or suggest. So if you guys focus on what's going on in the story, you'll find the meaning of the word sentence. And so Captain Jack sentenced him to walk the plank. So, to order a punishment, a kind of suggestion. Alright. So, Jack wasn't helping or insisting. So, it could be a unit of language, and he wasn't ordering any punishment, but I guess I want to say it's B, because if you paid attention from earlier, the only reason why Jack wanted Tommy to walk the plank is because he questioned him, for he is the captain, and he should never have done that. So he's ordering the punishment of him walking the plank. So it should be B. But if you guys think it's anything else, please put it in the comments or tell me in Twitter. 7. Choose the answer that best completes the sentence. Jack was always the captain. However, this was his treehouse. Jack was always the captain because this was his treehouse. Jack was always the captain, therefore, this was his treehouse. Jack was always the captain, although this was his treehouse. So what they want you to do here is use the best words in the right time. So you guys need to figure out which of these 4 words would best complete the sentence to actually mean what it's talking about. So you need to know the right words at the right time. So Jack was always the captain. However, this was his treehouse. Well, they kind of discussed it in the text. It said in the text, if you guys remembered, it said that Jack was always the captain because Jack was always the captain because it was his treehouse. They said it in the beginning of the text. So the answer is B, because. Get it? B, because. What did Tommy do that caused Captain Jack to sentence him to walk the plank? So what Tommy did was question Captain Jack. So they asked you to write it down. So here's what I want you guys to write. So I want you to write this. So Jack made Tommy walk the plank because Tommy questioned Jack. And he is the captain, and it is part of his rules. So that is the answer. 9. How does Tommy avoid walking the plank? Well, we're going to use text evidence. So we're going to go back. It says Tommy didn't hesitate. He spun around as fast as he could and knocked his leg into the air. Jack's sword went flying, and before Jack knew what had happened, Tommy leapt onto the sword. He popped up and pointed at Jack's back. So that's basically what Tommy did to defend himself, and that is the answer to question 9. Last question. Explain why Tommy decides to become the captain and order Jack to walk the plank. So this is why. So Tommy decides because Tommy wants to know how it feels to be the captain for bossing him around. Since Tommy was so annoyed of him being the captain, he made himself the captain to teach Jack a valuable lesson. So that's the answer to question 10. Thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.